Hello, hello, hello again, everybody. We are back to complete the DPSS receipt chain, and we're starting with DPSS06, written on the 5th of January, 1996 by 1313, and it says, ugh, great. Just fantastic. You know what? Satan really does suck. You know the whole anti-Satan seminar bullcrap was opt-out? Yeah. After our principal's near-death experience, it's no longer opt-out and no longer just a Wednesday thing. It's now part of every freaking home, period. Yippee. Apparently when our principal was out driving last weekend, a horrifying red-eyed demonic creature followed him and ran him into a ditch. And then he had a revelation that Satan and his followers were among us, and he needed to protect the children of his school. Trust me. The dramatic irony is not lost on me, but wow. This is what Red was putting up with. It's just on and on about how Satan is everywhere and in everything, and all media ever is actually Satan trying to lead us all astray. This is the worst. This is even worse than the weirdly short winter break we had this year. It's like, what, 2 weeks? A week and a half? I swear the school district will be hearing from me. This is egregious. Oh yeah, also, we have a guest speaker coming next Friday. It's apparently going to be the head of the Satan Sucks committee. She has a very enlightening presentation prepared for us so we can also see and share our principal's vision of imminent demise at the hands of unseen satanic forces. We will not be attending the assembly. Why? Because we are little rapscallions who love cutting class. No, it's because I'm almost positive this guest speaker is actually Mrs. Pleasant. It'd make sense if she was actually the one running this whole show, right? And if it isn't her, I don't feel like sitting through any more of this propaganda. Next is C, DPSS07, passcoded, and says, you say tomato, I say typhoon. Tomato, let's just call the whole thing off. It's supernatural trivia in 2 words, and I have no idea what it could be, so let's go to the wiki. 35 likes the occult and other paranormal things. What's commonly used in fortune telling? A specific set of cards. Which of the major arcana is sometimes named typhoon? I don't know. I'm just gonna look at what it is. The devil. What? I don't get it, but okay. The devil. This one was written the next day by 35, and it says, at least I have people to suffer with now, though 1313 isn't just being overly dramatic. This does genuinely suck. Things have gotten 10 times worse at Wilson High. Yesterday was the first day our principal was back since his accident, and the changes were severe and immediate. No more shadow story, no more heathen music, and the library has been closed for review of all potentially satanic literature. I'll give Satan props. He managed to turn Wilson High into literal hell in a matter of weeks. Not that things outside of school were much better. Stores are being forced to burn down anything deemed satanic, curfews are being put into place, and there has even been talks about marching on Anaheim next. Marching. They're marching now. This is getting to be a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if this Sucks crusade won't rest until they have Mickey Mouse's head on a pike. Though I guess it is just a costume, so it probably wouldn't be that hard to put his head on a pike, all things considered. As for Friday's assembly, I'm not entirely sure we can ditch. I wouldn't be surprised if the principal ends up hiring the Pinkertons to ensure everyone attends. If 1313 is right, and the head of Satan Sucks committee is the Mothman, then, well, we'll need a way to avoid her hypnosis. I suppose do not look into her eyes is good advice, but I'm worried that that won't be enough. And wait, did we seriously just get a tornado warning in Los Angeles? Do you know what the worst part of all of this is? I can't say the suckers are wrong. It sure seems like Satan is doing his best to destroy Long Beach. Next, the owner writes DPSS08 on the 31st of January, and it says, Abigail Hawthorne. Interesting. Well, no wonder I haven't been able to add her to my investigation. No references of her exist anywhere. Furthermore, I've never once heard her name. That might be trouble. 17 has been in an absolute frenzy attempting to dig up something, anything on Hawthorne, but he hasn't had any luck yet. If she is truly unknown between the two of us, that could prove to be rather dangerous. Though I concur with 35's sentiment, we should start being more proactive in protecting Wilson High from the church's brand of overly pious meltwater. Well, in any case, another month has come to an end. It's been a month of half success after half success. The mysterious disasters which plagued Long Beach's vehicles ended, but only because Mrs. Pleasant got what she wanted from them. We were able to stabilize the strange weather phenomenon, but we were unable to prevent losing Mr. Tormenta's business permanently. We rescued a group of our patrons out in the Big Sky Country, but Mrs. Williams was served ahead of us by Mrs. Middleton, and we uncovered a potential plot of the church in the San Pedro Mountains, but we were unable to stop them. Well, we can't win them all, but it would certainly be nice to win one or two, wouldn't it? But don't be hard on yourselves. Half successes tend to add up to full successes sooner or later. As for this coming month, it's clear we need to get to the bottom of the strange tremors still shaking Long Beach since Miss Andrews' service. Apparently, 62 sensors have already picked up an epicenter of sorts we can check out near the Long Beach Pyramid. Additionally, we need to discover who Abigail Hawthorne is and why she is doing the bidding of Padre Santos and his Dark Triad. Hopefully, we can snuff out the silly satanic panic sooner rather than later. Rule 12, rule number 7. This is our last passcoded one, which is CDPSS09, and the password hint is permanently barred from entry in Café speak. It's research and it's one word, no idea, so let's get some clues. What's the more supernatural term for a protection spell or some repelling mechanism? Another term for protective sigils, not specifically using Café and diner terminology. What word means to guard or protect and has magical associations? Let's find out. Synonyms. And it's 4 letters? Ward? Yep. Haha! I'm awesome. This one was posted on the 1st of February 1996 by Employee 71, and it says, warding Wilson High from demonic influence. A noble goal, but not an easy one. Not even the Café's physical location is warded against Padre and his dark triad, with the exception of Mrs. Umbra, of course. The issue really stems from how different the 4 of them are. Satan is a prince of hell, quite possibly the easiest of the lot to actively ward against. Each of the 7 princes has a well-known counter sigil. Unfortunately, the counter sigils of the princes are, how to put this, overkill. It would make him blind to us, but us equally blind to him. But as far as Wilson High goes, I don't see that being too much of a problem. The Hatman is the second easiest to ward against, though it requires a rather rare substance to do so, saddle blood. When the Hatman infiltrated the Café back in August, we were able to get a sample of his saddle blood, which we've been using to protect the Café from his hypnagogic influences. Getting more saddle blood might prove challenging, though the Hatman is hardly the only shadow out there. The Mothman would be a bit more challenging to effectively ward against. Being a blooded demon means we would have to use a sigil tied to the Mothman's lineage, which is up for debate. The Mothman has always been secretive about which of the noble houses he truly hails from, though we at least know his mother is Lilith and his father is not the devil. Then there's the hardest of the lot to ward against, the Red Man. The Red Man is a boogeyman, yes? A specific rank of demon imbued with Satan's own powers for the express purposes of infiltrating the flip side. The only way to stop the Red Man would be to use his terms and conditions against him. Of course, the Red Man has been playing his game for a long time, and his terms are some of the most flexible I've personally seen. To stop this, we need to bring him to the Court of Angels under a break of his contract, which we've been able to do this far. It's a rather risky gambit as well. If we fail to win a challenge of his terms, it will only add another loophole to his deadly game. Yeah, this just keeps getting worse and worse, but we're gonna see the end of this receipt chain now. Posted on the 29th of February by the owner, it says, another month comes and goes. Well, as usual, excellent work, everyone. Truly. I know we've had more downs than ups, but that's how it goes sometimes. But all those half successes have added up to a full success and then some, just as I predicted. It's almost like a horrible fog has lifted over Long Beach. Enough time has passed since Mrs. Umbra was parted from her stone that her influence over the youth has all but waned. And, after 53's clever ruse on Catalina, the Satan Sucks Committee has been reduced to a laughingstock of a would-be death cult. Of course, Abigail Hawthorne, the former leader of Satan Sucks, is still very much around. As we uncovered this month, she has particularly close ties to Padre Santos. Even with her little sect of parents, cheerleaders, and youth authority figures disbanded, I suspect she'll remain a threat, and we still need to contend with Padre's usual cohorts, the dark triad of Mrs. Pleasant, Mrs. Umbra, and Mrs. Akka. And somewhere along the way, a tourist-turned-coffee seller entered the mix, Augustine Sarkophim. And perhaps we have some more direct rivals with the arrival of the Café No Diner organization. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. As for our future plans, well, all that I know for certain is that we'll have a very special customer coming in next month or so. And what this customer brings could change the very course of our feud with the Open Doors Church for the better, or for the worse. We also need to figure out what exactly Mrs. Akka is planning with Augustine. It could be another plot of Padre, or it could be something Akka and Umbra have been working on in the shadows. Either way, it can't be good, can it? Eager for the unknown, 2 short of 10. I would say that things have been cleared up, but they haven't. This is more like an ominous message than anything, and I'm curious to see how far this goes. I'm also curious about some of the key players they bring up, because we don't really get any backstory to them now, though I'm sure we will get some later. And later will come later, obviously. And until later comes, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I just wanted to take the time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so appreciated. If you are not a channel member or Patreon and you would like to become one, there's a link in the description below. All channel members and Patreons receive 24 hours early access to all content posted on both of my channels. And all Patreons or channel members of the $10 Hellhound tier can request one horror-related video or stream topic, or one horror-related game that I play on my live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the content that I make.